Garden Sort's Team Sales is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Get into the game. Garden Schwartz Team Sales features fine products and apparel from Wilson, Schutt Sports, Speedline, and Russell Athletics. We offer custom embroidery and screen printing services for all of your school or club needs, from team uniforms to school letter jackets. Specializing in all sports and serving all communities, from big schools to small schools, from up north to down south, or all points in between. Garden Schwartz Team Sales. For great prices, friendly staff, and quality products, call Garden Schwartz Team Sales today at 1-800-880-7767. That's 1-800-880-7767. Since 1939, Garden Schwartz Team Sales is a proud supporter of New Mexico youth athletics.
Hoops New Mexico basketball courts is coming to Albuquerque soon. 10 full basketball courts and a whole lot more. For more information, contact Dan Serrano at hoopsnm@aybl.com.
Welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Special guests. I have two special guests today. To my right is Del White Gonzalez.
Gonzalez White. Yeah.
Gonzalez White. Yeah, I already screwed up. You already got me. I'm trying to introduce you. I learned from the comedians. You ad lib. You just ad lib with
right away. I saw his wife getting mad.
I tell you, and I have it right here in front of my face, and I still read it wrong. But you're the president of White House Media Group.
Correct.
And it's been in existence for 9 years.
9 years, yes.
And to my left over here is Keith Breckenridge, and he's a comedian producer. And,
yes, sir.
And the reason I have both these gentlemen here is because unbelievable what you did yesterday, and that comes from my heart. And let me explain what they did do. Is they put, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, they put 24 comedians, in Albuquerque and outside of Albuquerque. Is that correct?
Right, from all around the nation. It was really more of a 60-40 kind of, it was a lot of New Mexico talent, but then I reached outside and we got people from Dallas, New York, LA, San Antonio, El Paso, just from all over, comedians that I've worked with to make this whole thing come together.
Well, let me tell you the story behind the scenes, because I'm actually behind this. Del has done many lifestyle fitness. It was something that is on prior.
Fitness lifestyle.
Boy, I'm just butchering you today, right?
Do you like me or
what? You played that on Proview Network. It's done very well with local talent, with local things, and it's, the history between Del and I is that we go back like 3 years ago. You came to my office one day and I said, hey, you had an idea, and tell everybody what your idea was 3 years ago and where we've progressed from 3 years ago to today.
Wow, 3 years ago I walked into Proview and met Steve, and I had just moved here from Columbus, Ohio. My wife lives here. And I had been producing television programming for years, and I wanted to continue. Steve gave us the opportunity to produce Fitness Lifestyle, which is a fitness show, and he lent us his production talent, and we went out throughout the city of Albuquerque and produced a fitness show. And it aired on Proview. And I guess it was pretty successful. Huh?
Well, yes, it was. It was funny because we aired it, and we aired it and aired it and aired it and aired it. I mean, it was just that it was that good, and it was, it wasn't time dated, I guess you would say. And then you did a sequel, and you've done many more since that time. So,
absolutely. And we got together. We wanted to produce other type of programming, and this comedy show, Laugh Track. What we did yesterday is just another addition to the programming that we're producing along with Proview.
Well, Keith, so he came into my office, and we were we're trying to do some programming outside of the sports channel. Okay,
Right.
so and I actually basically said, you know, I got this idea. I think it would go good. He had some ideas. We had like we had different ideas of which direction we wanted to go, and one was just a debate between politicians and things like that.
Oh,
We're
okay.
going to do something simple like that. One was doing an RV show on all the RVs,
Ooh, that sounds good.
and then I just said, really, I think the comedian world would be perfect fit, and then one thing led to another. He meets you, and I guess
wow.
y'all tell me the story, because it was just, y'all were meeting every Monday or so at
Right. Yeah, we met every Monday. Upon your idea of a comedy show, I contacted the Star, the stage at Santa Ana, the general manager, and he introduced me to Keith. I called Keith, and we met on a Monday, and we've been meeting every Monday ever since,
Right.
trying to put together an hour-long comedy show. Keith knew all the comedians. Me being new to Albuquerque, I didn't know very many, and we created an hour-long format which contains 4 comedians and a local entertainment group. So we began to identify those groups and decided, well, let's do 6 episodes at once, which was a daunting task. 6
Yeah,
episodes,
right.
and that's
No,
where
that kind of really, you're in production. I mean, you look at your resume, you look at your 30 years of experience, TV and things, and that's how you do things. I mean, and I'm like, and I've kind of learned that you can just do multiple shows in one day, and,
Right.
and then break it up, edit it,
Right.
And then air it in the future, and can it, but. I tell you, you hit it on the nose. I was just expecting to go in there for about an hour, sit down at 8 o'clock, 8:30, and next thing you know, it's 2 o'clock. And,
Right.
And I had other things I had to do, or I would have stayed the whole time. But it was entertaining. I think Josh has some clips here, and we can give everybody a little bit of what was going on yesterday, and then we can hit the highlights later on.
A lot of people are surprised about the talent that's here in New Mexico.
So if Josh can put up that little clip there, that'd be great. So a little kind of what happened yesterday. It was pretty awesome.
this was me between comics explaining to the audience exactly what.
And that's Dale Gonzalez White, right? Not
Right, right.
No, okay, I got
Right,
there. All right, so.
Right. We wanted to talk about what we were actually trying to do here in Albuquerque with the comedy show. And I think the audience, it was very well received, and they understood our formula, to help grow comedy in the ABQ.
Well, Keith, I don't know if we're live or not on this, but if we're talking right now, I don't know if we're just listening to the clip, but okay, so you know all these, and you put it together. It was, and you guys did it like in. I mean, that took a lot of work to get everybody there, and it was. I was thinking this is going to be really a cost drive. I thought this was going to be really. I mean,
Sure.
They were there at 8, 9. I mean, they were just sitting lined up, and it was well organized, well put together.
It was, and that's why I only wanted to reach out to the professionals that I know. That when I tell them, hey, when I need something, I know you're going to show up, and I know you're going to be able to knock it out of the park and deliver. And so these are all comedians I've either worked with at some point in time, and we've all, worked together either in LA or here or somewhere,
This young man here was unbelievable.
He's an unbelievable talent, right?
Zach Freeman.
Zach Freeman, Albuquerque's own, right there.
And he was actually on.
He was on America's Got Talent. He got second when Regis was hosting. Right.
It was funny. I remember you, Dale, was saying, go do a 1 minute take or whatever. And next thing, we're all just sitting there. He went on for like, we're going to use it. It was crazy.
It was a test run, and that was his best take. He got so into it, and then the whole place just lit up.
Right.
So right here we have.
This is my friend Sam Butler that's out of El Paso. He owns Refried Comedy, and they tour all over the nation as well. He does a lot of stuff for the troops. Real good guy.
And then singing here.
Oh, this
Leah Levy. She's
beautiful
awesome.
voice.
Young lady, 25 years old with her dad. She does a lot. She's going to be big time.
Yeah. So I'm glad we caught her before she blows up.
Right.
And it was the enthusiasm, and like people were sitting in the front rows, and you had everything. And this was just Black Mike there. So
That's another black guy. His name's David Roseman.
Black Mike was pretty. I think I left when he came on.
David Roseman, right?
Right.
Yeah, Roseman is a pro. He's from the mean streets of Philly. He was a Air Force. He's internationally traveled. Amazing guy, really, really good guy. And this talent here, oh my God.
Well, Dale, talk about this. This is one you found on Facebook, correct?
On Facebook, Delphia. My wife and I actually went to see her at Kelly's recently, and she just blew me away. We had to book her for our show, and her voice is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal.
Well, everybody was just breathtaking when she was. I mean, you know when somebody's good when everybody's eyes are just like.
Oh, she gave people goosebumps. She was taken into the church.
Yeah,
it was pretty impressive, and so we're. I want to. Unbelievable job for the first time y'all guys worked together, and it was. I think Adam said it best. Somebody asked. I think Marty Watts asked, well, how do you think they're going to be? Well, I said, well, Dell's doing it. I'm not real worried about it, and I didn't. I didn't call. I didn't even check. I just said,
Right.
You guys, this is what you got. Just go do it, and we'll figure it out. I told you, I had one little suggestion or so that I think if you talk, I think it's so important to talk to those people and let people know where they're from, what they're doing, how they got here, or what their
that person's story,
that little story. So we're going to come back and talk more about this. Make sure the laugh track. We'll come back and talk more about laugh track.
Okay.
Grounded at third. They're going to step on the bag for one. Across for the double play. Galvan with a stretch at first.
Dangerous time here. Gordon continues to serve. It's blocked. It's kept up. Bend off the foot. Playing some soccer, and then Bendis.
And it's going to be an option this time. To Ventura. He changes direction. Ventura gets a little bit of a juke, and he's going to run that back.
Madison Haley. She was serving the first two sets when they wrapped it up. Scramble. Still alive. Haley pancakes it off the floor, and then she takes it out again on the back row. Hamill with a swing.
Candelario with the presence of mind. Good move down the lane. Score. She is fouled.
That's a gorgeous set and a better finish.
Edergon. Here comes Brown. Spin move inside, and Caviana Brown score.
Hackey on the far side. Ramirez gonna roll out looking. Ramirez is gonna run a long way. Back the other way. Now gonna toss it towards the end zone, and he's got his guy. Touchdown. The play, the continuation from Francisco Ramirez to his teammate.
That's up the middle of base hit. And here's the throw to the plate and a collision, and it is.
Oh, North trying to get out and run. Let's see what they can do here. Crosses her up, takes it to the rim, and run. The bucket is good. Number 2 Kawhi Du Bois from Ramah.
Los Alamos, number 10.
That is the stuff that And One mixtapes are made of, my friends.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Hey, welcome back to the Steve Davis Show. Unbelievable guest today. You know, I'm going to make sure I do this right, Dale. I don't want to butcher it again. Dale Gonzalez White.
Correct.
There we go.
And you're also, you know, president and producer of White House Media Group.
Correct. You got it right.
And then we got Keith Breckenridge and comedy. You know, tell everybody how you got to Albuquerque. I mean, that's, you know, you're
yeah, man. The car broke down, and we just kind of decided to stay. No, I'm just kidding.
There's a lot of truth to that. Okay. I mean, a lot of people, you know, I've heard that story. I mean, people. It's amazing how many people they come in or they drop off, and they're here, and the next thing you know, they you know.
Part of that is somewhat true, because actually on the move from here from Dallas, Texas, when we moved from Dallas, the car actually did blow up in Tucumcari. My dad had to buy a new car in Tucumcari, which brought us to Albuquerque.
So good thing you didn't stuck it out.
No, thank God, right. No, yeah, we walked that entire town up and back. That was it. Yeah, so my dad's a scientist, and so he got a job here in Albuquerque, which moved us out here. And been out here since 1989. So been out here for a little while.
Well, enthusiasm, I think, you know, life's about enthusiasm, passion, Dale. I mean, yours does, and, you know, the more I get to know you, the more impressed I am. You know, and I'm hard to get impressed with people. You know,
is it just because I said I had the same shirt?
Well, no, I was like, no, I thought I was unique. Okay, I was going,
nice. Next time I'm going to wear mine. Right.
Then we can judge and see who's better.
Right. Oh no, you already do. I know you do.
But you know, this, you know, and Dale, I want to thank you for, you know, putting this thing together, and also just believing in me and believing in Proview Networks, what we're doing, and what, you know, this is many of things that we're going to try to get done over the next year.
Yeah.
And we're putting these. You did 24 comedians, correct?
24 comedians and roughly 6 or 7 musical, you know, entertainment acts.
Yes.
And those were heartbreaking. Those were unbelievable. I mean, that's what got me. I just sit down and I was like, is this really, this is, and they play in Albuquerque, they do, and this is the talent that really, it's hidden talent that we need to expose and let people hear
Absolutely. There are gems of entertainment all through Albuquerque, Santa Fe, all through New Mexico. There really is. There's a lot of hidden talent, but because it's a smaller market, we don't get those views. If you notice a lot of concerts, they'll go from Dallas to Phoenix. They just skip right on.
You know what? That's funny. That's even with the musician. Like I'm big on country western, and they have a hard time getting bands just because they either go to Colorado, they jump over to Phoenix, or they go back to Texas.
Right.
And then it's like, even, you know, a lot of people, if you go to sports, and that's what I'm about, is that a lot of people just fly over New Mexico. They don't come to New Mexico, and they don't look at the athletes and the culture that we have here.
Well, being from the Midwest, I was exposed to comedy and comedy shows all the time. And when I moved here, I was surprised that
you were just kind of disappointed. I mean, because when I brought it up, I go, I think this would go good, and you're like looking at me like, isn't it going good? And I just remember there used to be a place you could go like 20 years or 30 years ago.
Laughs. That's where I first started out. Was Laughs.
Maybe I've seen. Maybe that's where I've seen you. Like, you look familiar when I first saw you, but and that was. It was packed.
Yeah, always was, right?
Yeah,
always was.
I mean, it was, you know, like, I mean, you had to get there. You had to get there to get a good seat,
right?
Or some people were standing up.
George Lopez was coming there before he blew up. Like, there was a lot of underground comedians going all through Albuquerque. You know, Stephen Michael Quesada. There was George Lopez, and there was a lot of really big Ralphie May. A lot of big comedians that were in Laughs that didn't quite blow up because of the Netflix and everything that is kind of now, but they were always those road warriors, and Albuquerque is a hub. I mean, we're an in-between. I don't understand why we've never had that kind of like constant staple of comedy.
I never understood that either when I moved here, but the goal for Laugh Track was to, again, grow comedy in the ABQ in New Mexico and be a part of the cities that national comedians want to come to, and help identify and blow up the comedians who are here. As you saw yesterday, we have a plethora of talent here that is hardly seen. They have to go elsewhere to get noticed, and we want to change that.
Well, like I said, when you came in the office, and so I didn't know either, and help explain what goes on at Santa Ana Star. Let's just promote that right now. I mean, they have a comedian once a month, or is it once a week?
Oh, as far as the show that's at Santa Ana, right? They really have the only real comedy club here at all. That's why this is any bit successful, is because of Santa Ana Star Casino, the stage. Jeff, my man. They have a Thursday night show that they put on, and they only do it one night. Now, he is changing the format, and they've been bringing in comedians for the weekend, which has now been proven to be successful. They're bringing in big comedians, Carlos Espinosa. They just had Dave Attell for the whole weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday shows. But before that was all built on just one night, Thursday night. Even when Thursday night football was playing, that place would still pack.
What does it cost? Did you have
it was less than $10.
That's what I'm saying. I was looking at trying to.
Yeah, it was like less than $10, and you get pro comedy. It's pro comedy.
My wife and I were there recently on a Thursday, and it was only $5. $5. I thought.
Yeah, and then they have specials, right?
Yeah.
Was that a senior citizen rate or?
No.
Get him, Steve. Get him, Steve.
Who's the comedian now?
Get him, Steve.
I just, I'm proud of that, man. I go to the movie and I haven't seen it. I'm there. And
there's benefits nowadays to being a senior.
Yeah, it is.
I go to First and tell them I'm 14. So I want to get that cheap discount. I'm a comic. I don't make too much money.
Well, and now do you do that on Thursdays or different comedians?
Oh,
how's that?
Well, the contract changed for the Santa Star. I did work with Santa Ana Star for 3 years. I was in there, and then their booking situation changed. I think their budget changed a bit, and so they can only really afford the 2 comedians instead of 3 that they normally would format for that show. So, and it's part of the biz. Things change, but I think that's being built back in, so we're going to be able to see a lot more local talent at the Santa Ana Star on the Thursday night shows, because the comedians they're from all over the nation. They're road warriors just all over the place, and they do normally it's Into the Mountain Gods. It's a run that you get paid for. You do Into the Mountain Gods on Wednesday, and then Thursday's the stage.
Okay, and so let's talk about that stage. It's state of the art.
$9 million facility.
That is a Las Vegas showroom. That is an unbelievable facility.
I was just blown away. I mean, when I walked in, I was like I said, I felt I was not in Albuquerque no more. I just stepped up into a new level. If you haven't been there, and it's been there a while.
It's been there for a little while. Anybody who walks in gets that same, they're blown away by just the lighting, the structure of the facility, the sound, the lights. Speaking of the staff that works there, like Shane, the sound, that guy is amazing.
He's amazing.
Well, he got my attention.
Consummate pro.
You know what? He was like, I wish anybody in the film industry or anything would watch this young man, because it was he took pride. He wasn't demanding. He just said, he made suggestions, and and he was. I don't know how many trips he got out of his thing, changed, you asked him to change the lighting, change this, and it was always more like, yes, sir, hey, I'm here to serve you, and it wasn't like, this is my place, and you're going to do it my way, and he was
very professional.
I mean, and right there, when you have him and you had y'all's personalities, everybody that walked in was I just felt like I was at home. I felt like I was right at home, and I got to talk to some of the comedians. They didn't know who I was, so that's even better when you get to talk to people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, who's this guy?
Candidates, right.
Who is this? And like I said, back to the stage, and I didn't realize it was $9 million, but
$9 million. Yep.
And it looks like it.
And I didn't go upstairs. I didn't get.
It's a two-tier. Yeah, almost the same setup upstairs as well.
And then the other part, you're going to laugh about this. I had to go to the bathroom, and I didn't even think about looking. The bathroom was right there, right there. I know. I just walk out and I walk all the way through the casino to find the bathroom. And it has.
Because most casinos have them on the outside, right? Right.
And you're like, so you go, they're right there on the inside. I thought that was so ingenious in thinking, because people, leaving and they can still listen, to what's going on.
The ergonomics of the room, just flow, everything.
They have a nice state-of-the-art bar area, and then the food is exquisite.
Right. Staff is just incredible.
Absolutely.
Oh, so they serve food. I didn't realize they serve food.
They have a full kitchen in the back.
That's how I was. I was so truthfully, I was overwhelmed. I just sat down and I was just, like I said, I saw the stairways, and then I finally figured out there's a bathroom there. and I lived at the bar, but I had no idea.
Full service. Yep. Fish tacos next time. Just letting you know.
And they. So the people so you can actually go eat. You can eat while you're watching. That's why the table. It makes it takes a while for me to figure things out.
But you make an order and they'll bring it to you. Absolutely.
That's inexpensive, I'm sure. I don't know.
They have all kinds of special. I think they have a $5 bar, the $5 like appetizer kind of thing that you do. The drinks are, less than that as well. So it makes for a really fun date night. It makes for a really fun evening. Comedy does. The whole thing. Versus a movie and a dinner. It's the same old drum. You've been doing that since 8th grade. Come on. Switch it up.
Well, I did it, like I said, I was a regular, it was like, I'd say once a month. I was coming in to I looked for it. Was like on my calendar, and if I remember right, there was 2 showings. There was like a 6 o'clock. There was a 6 o'clock.
Normally I do 2 shows, right.
My memory's not.
You're with it. Yeah, you're with it. I don't know why you're looking out that senior card.
I know. I just. Well, I like discounts. I mean,
who doesn't? I get you.
Well, Del, you're in Albuquerque. We know why you're in Albuquerque. Okay, so it wasn't because of right, and she put up with, I guess, Chicago or whatever, or Columbus, and decided to come back home.
Yeah, I met her in early 2000s, and she, happily moved to Columbus, Ohio with me, and she stayed for 4 years and didn't like it and wanted to come back home. So that's why we're here. But I wanted to continue my career in television, 30-year career in television, and you are allowing us to me to do that by producing not only Laugh Track, not only Fitness Lifestyle, but we have a whole list of other.
Well, actually, I was just doing. We have 35 things that we want to do.
Right.
So that's and I, I want people to. I know that if Josh has your phone number, I don't know if he made a little graphic or not, but maybe he has a phone number that we could put up later or something like that they can go to, so that people can get a hold of you and get your ideas of what we're trying to accomplish and how we're going to get them accomplished, and it's you have a guy like myself and Adam Deal and my crew that's really passionate about what we do,
right.
and This was just an unbelievable day. I mean, I had cheer. I mean, I really, like I said, I stayed there 5-6 hours. I'm like, and you couldn't get me away. I mean, I was like, I was sitting there just having a great time. It was, a great day to be there too.
And everybody hit. Everybody was on that day. It was really, really a good shoot. Everything flowed really well. really because of the Proview crew. I mean,
Right.
tons of shouts out to the crew.
Very professional.
Best in the biz.
Josh and Jason and Alden and the interns. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
No, it was, like I said, it was very, for the first time, you know, just putting it together and everybody learning to work together. It looked like everybody knew exactly what to do.
Me and Dale, we kind of built a little bit of a relationship. And we had a barbecue at each other's house, or I mean, we had a barbecue over at Dale's house, so my family could meet his family, and because it seemed like a real budding, you know, friendship and partnership, and we were both really like-minded, and I think spearing in that direction forward,
Right.
you know, to grow comedy and grow things.
Well, I got to throw something in here. I mean, so you can take it however you want to, but you didn't have chicken? I mean, that was a big...
You know we did.
Absolutely, you know
Oh
it.
yeah, my wife's black, so you know.
Absolutely. And watermelon.
And watermelon. So
I brought it.
I mean, I took that. You know, I should just be part of the
Absolutely.
script on this thing because you said barbecue, and I'm like, well, you know what?
Oh yeah, we cooked up some ribs, some chicken. Oh, I had a good time.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I didn't get the invitation, so I just, you know.
Next time, Steve.
Next time.
Next time. You gonna bring some potato salad? What you gonna bring?
Hey, I just bring myself. I'll just make sure there's no leftovers. Okay, I have a really.
Oh, I can tell. I know.
Yeah, I don't miss much of the food. That's why I have a Fitbit on here to make sure I can eat. I can eat. So I look and say, now I can eat. It's another mile, so I can go eat some more. So, but you know, where does this go? I mean, where's this comedian? I just. You know, I guess my mindset is you've seen what, or I don't know, maybe you haven't seen what we do with, you know, high school sports. I mean, you look at, you know, we do over 500 games a year. Plus we're up to 12 shows, and that's another 300. So we're doing about 1,000 things, which is about 3 things a day, every day. And that's why we have a 24/7 sports channel. And I just, what y'all did yesterday was like, doesn't even touch what the magnitude of how many people we should be promoting just besides sports.
Well, I was hoping you say that. I'm glad you said that you're interested in doing more than just sports, because we have a whole list of other programming like cooking shows and fitness shows, and there's one show that I really like called Cafe Rejoice. I think people are gonna like. But as you said,
let's hold off. Let's come back and we'll get in. We're going to talk into the detail of what you know, all the shows that's on your agenda.
Okay.
And one thing that I've learned with you and you learned from me is that if it's on the agenda, it gets done.
You're right.
So we're going to come back and talk more in detail of those shows.
Okay.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but 2 great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's, off Academy and in Nob Hill.
Hey Lobo fans, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Samantha.
Jaguar Land Rover Albuquerque has been a family-owned business since 1988. The 2017 Jaguar F-Pace has been named the winner of the 2017 World Car of the Year and World Car Design of the Year.
Land Rover's signature terrain response system is flawless against any curveball New Mexico weather can throw at you.
We have a class-leading extended warranty on all Jags and Land Rovers and one of the greatest pre-owned inventories in the state of New Mexico.
Call 505-797-3600 to schedule a test drive.
Altitude Sports Grill is where Albuquerque's sports fans won't miss a game. With locally crafted brews on tap and refreshingly crisp cocktails. Located in Hotel Cascada, Albuquerque residents find a staycation worth staying for. Catching Lobo sports, enjoying a beer on the beach, or wiping out, Hotel Cascada is home to your urban adventure. affordable guest rooms, no hassle water park parties, and much more.
Terry Cosper Insurance Agency is a proud partner with Proview Networks and a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics. Terry's been a local farmer's agent for over 20 years for auto, home, life, and business insurance. Just like high school sports are important, so are teen drivers. For more information, call Terry or one of his licensed staff members at 898-5556. Quotes are available for you.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. You know, what a great show. I mean, I'm just saying, this thing is, you know, it's opened up my eyes. I got Dale Gonzalez White to my right, and I got Keith Breckenridge to my left. So, you know, just the potential of this show. So we did it all day. Okay, I'll just say we, you know, Proview and you two, and y'all put it together, and I mean, if anybody saw that, it was just like clockwork. You know, I thought, you know, there's going to be a lot of dead time and a lot of things. I mean, it was like, as soon as somebody was off, the next person was up, the next person was up, and they even, what I understand is most of them stayed all day and listened to all the other.
Yeah, because it's a brother and a sister, and so we held it down for you. Now you're going to hold it down for me. So it's just a matter of a lot of them could hang out as long as they could, but mostly there was a lot of comics that got there real early and stayed all the way to the end.
And we initially had the comics to do 20 minutes, and when we put the show together, a laugh track together, we would cut it down to 10 minutes. Well, when we did the math, we would be there at 10 o'clock at night if they all did 20 minutes. So we had them do 12 minutes. Eventually, we'll cut it down to 9 or 10 minutes. But we were so together that we were actually ahead of schedule.
So, okay, we did the show. Okay, so now what's going to happen now? We're going to have our first show here in a week. Is that going to, or 2 weeks? Or?
Well, we're gonna put the show together. It's an hour-long show, so I think I'm just breathing now.
Yeah,
we're breathing now after the production.
Right.
But real soon we'll begin to put.
I saw you with that oxygen mask yesterday on there.
It's a long day.
It's a long day. So Keith and I put our heads together and began to craft the format, the run of an hour show. And once we do the hour show, we'll bring it to you guys for you guys to critique it. We'll tune it up more. And once we tune it up, then I just want to give it to your crew to do episodes 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You know, once they see how we want it to flow, then they can do it, and then we'll move on to the next show.
That's awesome. And so we're going to have you're going to try to get 6 shows, is that correct? I was trying to do the math this morning, and with sponsorships in there, it works out to about
6 hour-long shows, and then we'll do a rebroadcast for a total of 12 weeks, 3 months. And then, ideally, it'd be nice to
do another
6 shows.
In that, and when we're rebroadcasting at 6, we should be
ready
to shoot, because I'm already collecting more comedians and musical acts for the next season.
And to help promote Albuquerque, we want to then put that show in different markets like El Paso, Denver, in the Southwest area. Just take that whole show, put it in different markets, and it'll be obvious that it's Albuquerque born and bred. They'll recognize the talent that we have, and hopefully they'll bring more talent into Albuquerque.
Or want us to go out of state to do some of
Right.
do the same thing.
But it's going to create the buzz that Albuquerque is a very talented, very deep cultural city that you can't stop. I mean, you don't want to miss it.
Right.
You got to stop in Albuquerque because we got comedians, musicians, poetry. I mean, just deep with artistry. You know.
You know, that's so impressive. More I think about, when I'm talking, I always get out, my mind starts thinking about how this thing's all going to work, and once people see the show, they're gonna. I mean, and I have so much confidence in you, in how it's going to come out that you're going to just sit there and you're just going to be staring at the TV, just going like, wow, this is happening.
Right.
Exactly the way we want it to. We want people to feel about it the way you did when you were there watching the production.
Live.
Right, live. And so when they see it, we're hoping they'll be tuned in, they'll stay tuned in, and everything we do.
How about the people at Santa Ana? What was their impression about it? I mean, I know your general manager introduced you to guys, but was it something that? What's their mindset about this thing happening? I was the way it was put together so easy and quick. I thought there was going to be some hiccup, or there's going to be something.
We were both like third baseman, on our toes, ready for any kind of adjustment.
Right, we were.
Change, but I think it was with the months of preparation that me and Dale did, because we now met only every Monday. We would meet 2 or 3 times a week sometimes, especially the closer we got to the shoot date. We met almost every day. But I think the preparation that Dale and his vision and his knowledge and so deep of how shoots go, we were able to coordinate this shoot, and it, like I said, we were even ahead of the schedule at some point.
Right. We're ahead of schedule. And what made me nervous is that I wasn't nervous.
Right.
Leading into the production, because you always think of a plan B, plan C, and I don't think we ever had to go to a plan B.
And we had contingencies.
We did.
And of course, I have to, brag a little bit or to deal with it. But going in the preparation, I said, no, we got to go in a day early.
Oh no, that was actually a key piece in it.
Right.
So everybody goes,
open Tuesday. Right. No, for us to get set up, dialed in, be able to shoot one of the musicians the night before, really made the next day flow. So you're right about that, Steve.
And your suggestion that we do that
because what I see with, not that I'm what upsets me about TV is there's so much wasted time because everybody's scrambling. They're scrambling around, or the cameras are not ready, the people are not ready, and I said,
money burning. That's money burning.
I said, let's get in there. Let's see, make sure we can get in there a day earlier and find out. That's probably why you weren't so nervous, because maybe the night before you were maybe more concerned about how things are dealing. You had Proview Networks guys and yourself, and I guess you were there too.
Right, so we were able to shoot a big key piece of a lot of my stuff, my intros and outros, separate from.
Well, so I get to see that. That's going to be. I can't wait to see how this show goes.
So we shot all of the intros of the comedians and the outros and the coming back from commercial breaks and all of that the previous day. So the next day it was just comedians. And it wasn't me bringing them up and entertainers, right?
And it was key that we had a comedian there, Keith, that we could dial in what to expect when the other comedians got on stage, and it was key that we had a musical act who couldn't show up on Wednesday but was able to show up on Tuesday, and we can dial in what to expect with the other entertainers on Wednesday. That was key. So thanks for that suggestion.
Because
I was really concerned about burning time and money, but with that suggestion,
I think that's where you and I learned going back 3 years ago when we were doing. I don't want to butcher life.
Fitness lifestyle.
Fitness lifestyle. I do. So I got this life fitness, and I'm.
It's the other way around.
It's the other way around. I got to think backwards, but I'm already thinking backwards.
Yeah.
I got to think backwards again. So, but that was one thing that you remember you did. Like, I just said, hey, you can have my camera guy for 2 days, and you guys were like in 10 different spots at 10 different times, and then we put it together. And I kind of learned from that, from just let's get there, let's get in there and make sure all of our equipment's working, make sure the sound's right, and then you're not wasting
any kind of time.
Right. The way I always tell anybody that works for me is, respect other people's. Don't worry about it. Always be on time. Be prepared for the unexpected.
Right.
And we're out there. It's 30 miles from basically,
everything
from our office to where we can get in there. So let's go out there, and then if something is missing or something doesn't work or something like that, we can come back and somebody go get it, and we'll be ready to go in the morning. And like I said, I showed up probably about 8:15, and y'all were just, y'all were, it was. I thought, I'm going to get there, and it's going to be, and that's where I get uptight. I get it just me when I go to a game and everybody's running around with their heads cut off. I start getting nervous with it. So.
Well, being involved in a lot of productions in the past, I know there's a lot of moving parts, and so prior to the production, I was communicating with the general manager at the Star, communicating with Keith because he had contact with all the comedians, and then their schedules would change, and he would have to do something, and then the general manager at the Star, no telling what his bosses were telling him, and so we had to be ready to make adjustments on the fly, which is what I'm used to. Even when we did Fitness Lifestyle, there were a lot of talent who said, well, I can't do it now, and you have to have a plan B. So all that's important when you're planning a production, to think about what could happen and what is the contingency for that to make things run smooth when actual production come about. You're not running around like a chicken with your head cut off, not knowing what to do and how to respond.
And like I said, you know what? We're going to come back. We're going to come back for another segment. We have a lot more to talk. We never even got to what our future is going to be.
Yes. Yes.
Visit the Frontier Restaurant. Due to heavy construction on Central, take lead or coal coming north or south. The Frontier Restaurant. Get your Frontier fix on. Garden Sort's Team Sales is a proud supporter.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Steve Davis Show, and to my right, and I'm going to do this right, Dale Gonzalez-White.
Right.
And to my left is Keith Breckenridge.
There we go. Nice.
And the reason I can read Breckenridge is because there's a movie called Breckenridge or something like that. Well,
it was Breckenridge, Colorado.
Right.
I normally get the recognition rap. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not on that same page. I just knew that I heard that name a lot.
Right. Gotcha.
So we have our comedian thing. I mean, we have so much that we want to do. I know. One thing when I got the access with Proview Networks with the city of Albuquerque, was one thing that we have to provide is, 45 hours of live original content a week. And you think about that. That's is six and a half hours a day for 7 days a week, and it's not that challenging when we're in athletic, when high schools and things are going. We do 10 to 14 games a week. All right, so that's figure that they're 3 hours. So right there, if you do 10 to 14, and then I had to come up with other things. So we came up with shows. So when we first started, we only had, we had the Steve Davis Show and the Sports Desk. Then I'm just looking at this. Now we're up to almost 12 shows. And this led me on with you saying, look, we have, you just realize how many, people don't realize how many 24 hours, 7 days a week, how many hours.
That's a lot.
A lot of content to fill. And I didn't want a channel that wasn't conducive to the audience. You know, where you're not playing the same. You know, like we'll re-air one game, probably, or even the shows 3 times a week, 3 times during the week to fill that 24-hour block. Then we start a new week. So that's when I was, you know, talking with you, and we may have an opportunity to work on, you know, getting more channels down the future. And I was like, well, I hesitated with you. Remember, I was like, oh, you know, let's wait and wait. And then finally, it hit me in the head. I go, why am I waiting for? Let's go get this done. Let's show people. Let's let people know what we're doing, and then that opens doors. I think if you're a doer, it opens doors because they see it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And so that leads on to, you know, I came to you and I said, let's how could you, with your television experience, get 45 hours a week where it's cost effective for one. I think that's the biggest thing because you're such a perfectionist. That's one thing I had to, you know, like now you understand what I say by we broke it down to an A production, B production, and C production, and basically what this is just, you know, cameras and one producer or director there, and you have nice green screens and you have nice things. So, but it's real cost effective to do.
Absolutely. And so the idea was to create more programming that the audience would enjoy. So we came up with a list of 30 to 35 different kinds of programming that we could produce and air on your network. Like, well, we talked about the fitness show, we're doing the comedy show, there's a cooking show, a political show, a spiritual show, there's documentaries left and right. I mean, one idea for sure is to take all the special athletes from UNM, the colleges around town, and do a Where Are They Now? Create documentaries talking about that. So these shows are opportunities for us to, in my opinion, and not that we want to compete with broadcast, but I think we can compete with broadcast with the quality of programming that we can produce here on Proview.
Well, and that's what's so remarkable about both of you guys. I don't know you that well, but I just watched you in action. Is that you know, one, you have a passion for what you're doing, so you can't take away passion. I mean,
can't take away heart, right?
You can do a lot of things, but and to see. When people see this show, I mean, I just can't wait to see it. Okay?
Yeah. If people give us a chance and you tune in and you see the talent that we did put on, there's no way you're not going to be impressed.
Right.
And I, like I said, it was like I mean, and you hit it right on the nose. It was like being in Vegas. I mean that. I mean, that was. Like I said, it was. I'll say it once more. I mean, I was expecting to go in there, and people know me well enough. As I usually just go see if it's all set up and see if things are going, make a few suggestions, and then I got things I got to go do. And I just got on my phone. I don't know if you saw me leave, but I called everybody out, and then I said, "They cancel all my stuff today. I'm going to sit here and give these." I was more into I got what I wanted to see because the comedians and the musicians, they wanted to be there.
Oh yeah.
I mean that, you know, it wasn't like, oh, we're coming over here. They're not get, you know. I mean, it was neat they get a chance to be on TV, a chance for somebody to see them, a chance they may make some money in the future with their talents and everything.
It's exposure. It's forest through the trees.
Let me ask you this. I know that Proview Network is a local ESPN, so to speak, but sports network. But you think our company, White House Media Group, producing all this program, Proview can handle it?
Well, you know what? There's a will, there's a way. I mean, let's go do it. You know, let's figure out how to. You know, I haven't said no to anything yet.
Absolutely.
And people have always questioned, even my own staff questions my intention. They don't understand where I'm coming from. But I remember getting second guessed when I was helping you do your show, and it was a good thing because things evolved. Who would ever thought that Proview would have its own channel? Okay,
Right.
and this, it was in my mind, but that the story of that is a documentary in itself to see what had happened, how Proview has progressed in 10 years. I mean, if you really look at Proview in the first years, it was just moms, dads, and uncles watching I had like 10 people that were watching what we were doing. And of course, the infrastructure of the internet has changed immensely. It's really made it a lot easier to do live stuff with the internet. And we're one of the first companies that ever took live internet to TV instead of TV to the internet.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, we were way far ahead of anybody that ever, and we were just playing around with it, and by osmosis we figured it out.
Right.
And since that time, technology, high-speed internet, everything has in the last 10 years. It's almost in 1 year you're out of sync of what's really going on with the internet. How amazing. Used to you'd have these huge, big old cameras. Now you can get really small cameras, cameras, and
use your phone now even.
Right, and get high quality.
High quality, right.
So it's
starting out small, growing big. And that's something I hope Laugh Track does too.
And that's why I always, when people talk, I mean, even my show. You look at my show now. It's 10 years in existence now. And it's actually neat because people want to be on my show. But when I first started, it was like,
trying to get folks to come down.
But what I figured out was I was with coaches and with athletic directors, city, anything with sports, Yaffle director, what I found out was that they basically told 100 people.
Right.
And I was tracking it. It was really funny. But then what was happening, so you could do, if you think about it, 10 years, 52 weeks. And I only missed 2 weeks in 10 years.
Wow.
Like, oh, wow. I mean,
That's
I have
phenomenal.
my show has been very consistent with it. And all of a sudden the numbers, 10 years have gone by. I'm just doing my math. That's 520 shows.
Wow.
520 shows with 500 times with about 100 people or so watch it. Well, but now it's grown to where, thousands of people watch it. And who would have ever thought? And the other one was who would ever thought that I would be hosting it, okay? But that was the whole. That was what was. And it wasn't about my ego. It was about the people that I want people in here that I want people to hear the stories behind the scenes of like coaches and yourselves that we're all trying to be a community, trying to do the right thing.
Right. I know. I appreciate you, bringing us on. So thanks again, Steve.
Absolutely. And 3 years relationship now, it's just grown, and I'm appreciating it more and more every day.
And if you ever meet, if you would ever meet, he walks in my office, and of course he goes, well, I'll never forget because you were so, because some things did not happen. He goes, well, I have this contract signed. I said, write it ever how you want. I go, let's I don't care. Let's do it. I just want to see you succeed, and if you succeed, I'm going to succeed.
Right.
And that's been my whole life, how I've been with everybody I meet is like, really, seems like money always kills ideas. Because everybody gets greedy, they ever do. I said, let's just go do this, and if the money works out,
People don't find the worth in things other than just compensation sometimes.
So we got. I want to, first of all, great job yesterday. Okay,
Thank you.
And we're going to be doing a show here in a week, and I'd like to get some trailers, made deal. But I want to thank both you guys for coming on, and this is not the end of what we're doing, and I want people to know who just the beginning. So people are going to see more in you guys, and working behind the scenes and getting that done is just unbelievable. And I just want, from my heart, I just want to thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for the shot, Steve.
All right.